Hey guys, it's Jay from ASMR for Nerds. Today we're just gonna do another comic shop video. I have a good amount of books, so I'm not sure if I'll be doing a reading, but we'll see how time goes. So let's start it off right away. First book we're gonna take a look at is the Justice League of America number 7. This series has been one of my favorite books out the past bunch of months. It's written by Hitch, I think Brian Hitch, yeah, there it is. Brian Hitch. What's been going on in this so far? As you have heard in other videos, since I've been reading this one for a while, and I've showed you guys a couple of issues. I think, yeah, we even did a read through of the Martian Manhunter video. So they had one issue which was all focused on Martian Manhunter, and we did do a read through of that. So what's been going on here is this guy who is supposedly the god of Krypton, or what was Krypton. His name is Rao. If you read Superman stories, you would have noticed that when Kryptonians talk, they'll say, they'll replace God with Rao. So it'll be like, oh my Rao, or by the power of Rao. So Rao comes to Earth and starts to heal everybody who's sick and eliminates poverty and all that. And that sounds great, and Superman is all on board for that. Except when it seems that he's kind of getting a little too much power and the world is kind of blindly following him. So at that point, the Justice League intervenes and finds out, of course, his intentions are not as pure. As he makes it out to be. So at this point in the story, he has Superman captured. Because Superman, who originally loved the idea of Rao coming back, eventually decided that, or saw that it wasn't a good idea, or that he has other intentions. So I did read this issue, and it's been just as good as the others. I'm just gonna tell you guys from now on books that I recommend or don't recommend. Highly recommend this particular run of Justice League of America by Hitch. It's up to number 7 right now. Probably be released in a trade. I'm not 100% sure how it. I don't read a lot of DC titles. I do read Superman and some Green Lantern, but in the Superman's, this story is, I think it's on a different timeline, because it's not referenced at all. So this is like a standalone, so you can just get it and jump right in. So I'm gonna grab a bag. I bought a brand new chair because my old one was, I know there are a lot of squeaks in it, and you guys could always hear it in the video, so hopefully that's not the case now. I got a nice new Lazy Boy desk chair. It's kind of expensive, but wow, it's comfortable. Next book, you guys already saw, but Doctor Strange #5. And this is the Joe variant. This week there were a bunch of variants of the same style by the same artist. I forgot his first name, Michael Joe. I really liked the style with the two-tone colors, and especially this one with the pink and blue. This is the variant. I went with this week, even though it was more expensive. So Doctor Strange, this has been one of the absolute best stories coming out of comics lately. It's kind of everything a comic should be. It's fun, it's a little violent, kind of weird, a lot of dealing with like magic and stuff. So basically in the story now, Doctor Strange, it's revealed that he's a magician. Obviously he's a magician, but where the magic comes from is this realm where basically magic lives. And someone has been killing off everything in that dimension, so there's been less and less magic available. So he's now going, or at this point in the story, going to investigate what happened to the magic realm. The way I explained it made it sound kind of like a generic storyline, but it's absolutely not. You just have to read it. This is one, being that it's up to #5 now, the trade should be out soon, so if you can't get your hands on the issues, you should definitely pick up the trade when it comes out. So these two stories are definitely worth checking out. If you don't read comics or are new to comics, not much backstory is needed for either of these if you're going to start at the #1s. So, okay, next. This has been a great story so far. Of course, the artwork, you guys probably even recognize it at this point. Mike Allred. Very distinct art style. Kind of a busy guy these days with Silver Surfer and this, and drawing a lot of variants. I'll read you guys the first page just to get a taste of what the writer is like. So, the story basically is art is really alive. People come to kidnap Mona Lisa, but this group, the art ops, gets to her first and takes her out of the painting, puts in a decoy, and is hiding her in plain sight in New York City. If you could see on the cover, she's like a punk girl. Lisa is kind of really liking that lifestyle. So I'll read you this page. St. Mark's Place the next day. That's in New York City. According to philosophers and self-help gurus, the most productive way to solve a problem is to take your mind off of it. So in theory, working on my teleplay should most likely lead to a solution for how to find the Mona Lisa. And there's no better place for inspiration on human relationships than cafes. Is that peanut butter and jelly? The yin, the yang. Every point has its counterpoint. What would the peanut butter be without the jelly? I know exactly how to save Mona. Hey, I was eating that. Your infantile choice of sustenance may have just saved a masterpiece. Consume as you please, Juliet. But you and I have work to do. To me, that's funny. If you're from New York City or Brooklyn in particular, you'll know that grilled cheese and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, for some reason, are being served everywhere. I mean, I guess they're cheap and easy to make, but there are a lot of places trying to make, $12 grilled cheeses. It's like a little trend now. A lot of bars are making them, and there's like artisan grilled cheese places. Anyway, so this story has been great. This is a page where the main character is taken to, he's told to think about old memories, and this was his favorite cereal, and he loved Saturday morning cartoons, so they kind of go into his Saturday morning cartoon. And they're trying to dig out his past memories of his mother, who was a member of the original Art Ops. Another one I highly recommend, especially if you're a fan of art and the art world. Look at this. The colors are great, as usual, by Laura Allred, the wife of Mike Allred. So that was Art Ops number 4. Okay, next, let's see. I don't do these in any order. I kind of just have them in a pile, and I pick them up in the order they're in. This is a book I picked up knowing nothing about. It's called Faith. I do know she was part of another superhero group in the Valiant universe. It didn't look too appealing to me, however. I'm really into Valiant's latest stuff, so I thought I'd give this new number 1 a try. And I kind of liked this cover. It's, for those of you who don't know comics, the CGC is the the main company that grades and archives books. So this cover makes it look like it's in this plastic casing with the score 9.8, which is about as good as you could get. I've never seen a book rated 10. I don't even know if any are. I'm sure there are out there, but... So, this issue. And I did not like it at all. I would not recommend this one. It was a little wordy and really not interesting at all. This and the artwork I found to be not so good. This page's art is actually cool, but it looks like it's a totally different style than the rest of the book. So the story is about this lady Faith basically managing her personal life with her superhero life. And it doesn't get into much other than talks about her old superhero group and how she's on her own now. And, she's just trying to manage the two aspects of her life. Something that's been done a million times, and this book just did not add anything new to that sort of idea. So I will not be picking up issue number 2, and I do not recommend this one. So they can't all be winners. Valiant, you've been doing pretty well so far. So I apologize, guys, for making videos a little less the past couple of weeks. Like I've told you before, I got this really bad cold, and it came back for a couple of days, and my voice was gone, and it hasn't been a very fun month so far. But anyway, next book, The Twilight Children. Written by Gilbert Hernandez and drawn by Darwin Cook. Now I bought this whole series, numbers 1 through 4. Mostly because of the artist. I'm a big fan of Darwin Cook. You'll see why we'll flip through this. I have not read this yet. If you guys have noticed the type of art I like is this kind of bold colors, bold lines, not a lot of use of gradient coloring. I don't like overdoing it. It's very simple art. As for the story, I know nothing about it. It's a 4-issue miniseries. The 4th issue has come out. I have not, for some reason, been able to find issue number 3. So I have issues 1, 2, and 4. So I'm waiting to find number 3 until I start to read this, but so that's about it for this one. Not much to say other than I'm looking forward to reading this. It's Twilight Children number 1. I like this cover. So next, this is a book I've been raving about to you guys. And it's still up there. If not the best, one of the best stories Marvel is putting out lately. It's the Vision, who is a sentient robot who is given a sentient robot family. know, trying to give him a good life. So if you see here already, I did not read this issue yet. So if you see here, it says, what is this? And the football the kids were playing with says the Fighting Redskins. So it looks like they're gonna deal with that controversy. I just wanted to point this out here. This Deadpool video game, I'm pretty sure that's an old game that came out years ago, and they're just basically rebranding it on the PS4 and Xbox One. I don't think they made a brand new one. There's a Deadpool game that came out years ago that wasn't very good, and before Deadpool was even really popular, or at least as popular as he is now. So if you're thinking about buying that game, at least look into that. I could be wrong, but I think I'm right. So this story is dealing a lot with the kids at school being robots and kind of picked on, while the mother is trying to cover up. Oh, this is one I gotta get. Again, not a huge fan of Deadpool, but that's a Mike Allred cover, it looks like. So Deadpool number 8, I'll be getting that one. So this is the Vision who's in the Avengers now. So he's out fighting world threats, and his wife is at home, kind of being investigated, or worried about being investigated for killing. Oh boy, sorry to interrupt myself, but this is the first ad I'm seeing for the new Mark Waid, Chris Samnee book. Those are the guys who did the Daredevil run, which was amazing. And now they're going to be doing Black Widow. And this is the first ad I've seen for that. So that's exciting. As for this issue of The Vision, I have not read it yet, but I'm sure it's just as good as the rest. Definitely pick this book up if you're reading comics. I'm sure if you do read comics, you already are, because everyone in the stores are talking about it, and the reviews are all just great for it. So, and also the covers have been great. This artist is Mike Del Mundo, who I've showed you guys before, who drew an Elektra story run that I read through with you guys in my video Spotlight on Elektra. Next book, Nova, number 4. I've been into this story so far. I don't know if I'd recommend it for people who aren't like Nova or cosmic superhero fans, but it's definitely good so far. I like it. It's dealing with Novas. He looks up to his father, who was also in the Nova Corps or whatever. And he finds out that the guy who he thought was his father was not. It was like someone dressing up as him, or maybe a Skrull, for those of you who know Marvel. Skrulls could shapeshift. Looks like the bad guy in this issue is the Mole Man, who has his little minions, the Moloids. So yeah, Nova's just trying to get to the bottom of who his dad really is. Or where his dad really is. So, being that Nova is also in the Avengers now, Spider-Man, or Miles Morales Spider-Man, is, and Ms. Marvel, and so you'll see all of these characters in each other's books lately, and there's kind of this unspoken, or not unspoken, but yeah, unspoken kind of crush between Nova and Miss Marvel. They're kind of flirty but standoffish with each other, so it's kind of a fun take on young superheroes in a group together. Next, a book I've been showing you guys week to week or month to month, and I'm into this one. It's kind of a classic sort of feel, and that would make sense because Dan Jurgens is the writer. It's Superman, Lois, and Clark. I've told you guys this before, but I'll say it again. Lois and Clark have a baby in this universe. They're actually from another universe, brought to this current one by the Convergence event this past September. And they're trying to keep their identities under wraps because this world already has a Superman in Metropolis. But they're starting to realize that they could use another Superman, so Lois gets him this costume. It's reminiscent of his costume post-death of Superman in the 90s that Dan Jurgens was a part of writing, so that was probably intentional. So in this story, Lois and Clark's son is starting to pick up on the fact that maybe his parents are not just normal people. And they're trying to keep that under wraps for him too. They're setting up the bad guy, Hank Henshaw, who was a huge part of the Death of Superman story. He was the cyborg Superman. Basically, he was out in space and through a series of unfortunate circumstances ended up being fused with the ship's computer, and he went crazy. So he's like, he could control robotics and stuff. Anyway, we've gone through that already, so. Next book is Old Man Logan #1. And it's kind of funny that I got a Wolverine title and I didn't realize it was all torn up. Looks like Wolverine was reading it himself. These 2 pages where it looks like I don't know, they stuck out, and so I don't think this was cut properly by however the machines cut it, but so I'm in the middle right now of reading through to you guys the original Old Man Logan story. And I was doing that because Old Man Logan #1 just came out. So if any of you guys wanted to jump in, I know Wolverine is a very popular character. So if you are familiar with the movies but don't read comics, this is the form that Wolverine is currently taking in the Marvel Universe as just Logan. Um, there is a female Wolverine in the all-new, all-different Wolverine series, but to me, Logan is always Wolverine, so I figured I would read you guys the story of Old Man Logan so you have an idea. So you could go to your comic shop or go online and maybe buy this, and this will be the comic you start with. So not much to say about this, especially considering we're in the middle of reading through the original story, so there would be some spoilers here. I will point out that this story is written by Jeff Lemire, who is one of the busiest guys in Marvel Comics these days. Not just Marvel. But he's writing for Image, and he's doing his Descender story, which has been good. And I believe optioned for a Showtime or Cinemax or something show. I don't know if it's going to be a show, but anyway. I'm wondering if they're eventually going to do an Old Man Logan movie. It's a nice splash page. Simple, but nice. So it looks like this cover is teasing the Vision becoming bad in the all-new, all-different Avengers story, which has been good so far for sure. So again, another damaged copy I bought by accident. I usually inspect the books I buy pretty well, but it looks like I didn't this week. Next, a book I've shown you guys and I'm enjoying it, called Ringside, about an old-timey wrestler trying to make a comeback, but also it deals with his shady little life, and he's kind of mixed up in a bad situation, looking for someone and getting involved in gangs and stuff. So far there has been not a lot of wrestling references, or I mean there are references, but this is supposed to be like the Vince McMahon character, or the head honcho of the wrestling league that he's trying to get it back into, and so he's kind of they're talking about here the creative team, which is the group of guys who writes the wrestling storylines. Spoiler, guys, wrestling is fake. So that's it. I'm on the fence about this one. I'm kind of into it, but as for if I could recommend it, I can, but not a must-buy. If you're a wrestling fan, sure, why not? There's another wrestling-themed book called cage hero out by I believe Kevin Eastman, and that was pretty bad. I really didn't like that at all. This book is called Mirror, and I know nothing about it, except that I liked the cover. And as I've said before, I will very often give number ones a try, especially if the artwork looks interesting or if I know the writer, which I don't. So I do not know anything about the story or the creators, but we could just take a look at the artwork. So that was a quiet look at Mirror. Alright, let's back this one up. Okay, next. So next is Action Comics number 49. And this cover is a variant. And it is a throwback to the issue in the Infinity Crisis. Or Infinite Crisis. I don't remember. Yeah, Infinite Crisis storyline. Wait. No. Crisis on Infinite Earths. Sorry, they're all the same thing. Or they're all different, but the similar name. This is a recreation of a cover where, an issue where Supergirl died. So, it's a Neil Adams variant cover. I have not read this issue yet, but as all Supermans, even when they're not very good stories, I'm still into it because I just love Superman. So apparently, from what I understand, is Superman is gaining a new power, let's see. This might be the reveal. So, as I've told you guys, Superman has lost a lot of his powers, and he was losing them even more. And I forgot the exact reasoning why, but behind it, he thought if he threw himself into kryptonite, it would kill off the layer on him that is not absorbing. Yeah, that's what it was. He thought maybe there was a layer of his skin or outer muscle or something that was not absorbing the sun's rays the way it normally does, which is what makes him Superman. So he thought going into kryptonite might get rid of that. So let's read and see what his new power is, or if it's revealed here. I'm Superman, but over the past few months, I've lost almost all of my power. Vandal Savage drained it away, and now he's taken over the Watchtower and kidnapped the Justice League. So this must look like his master stroke, trapping me in a chamber of kryptonite. But here's the twist. I did this to myself because something had to change. Yes, Superman alive doesn't make any sense. It's the Puzzler bot, works for Vandal. Your master poisoned my cells to destroy my powers. Skin burns. What the hell's happening? Don't show him the pain. But you could tell him I've just used kryptonite to burn away those poisoned cells. Clever, but you're far from the sun down here in the Argus headquarters. No time to power up. I'm afraid I'm still going to kill you, Superman. Got to it first if I'm going to have any chance. Whoa, kinetic energy explodes as I punch. The pain is excruciating but effective. Interesting. Well, welcome back, Superman. Thanks, without you two. Let's not go crazy with the backslapping just yet, boys. According to my readings, your mutated cells aren't dead yet. Instead, they're fighting the kryptonite by absorbing its energy. So yes, you're getting powered up, but in entirely new, unpredictable ways. That explains the pain. It's worse than that, Superman. The kryptonite's actually killing off your healthy cells. So whatever you're going to do, you better. Got it? And suddenly, I can fly again. Not in a jet, not with a suit, but with the power in my own flesh and bones. Everything burns. Blood feels like it's boiling. Wind in my face feels like it's fire. This should be terrifying, but God, I missed this. So it looks like now Superman is powered by kryptonite. Interesting turn of events. I'm back. So it seems Superman is back with his powers. I'm sure there's going to be some sort of problem with it, being that kryptonite is the thing that's empowering him, but hey, I guess we'll see what the hell's going on here. So that is Superman in Action Comics number 49. Next. Oh, I'm really into this book. Although it's a weird time of year to continue it. This is Grant Morrison's take on Santa Claus. Klaus, number 3 of 7. Basically, it's this, about this guy, or about this little town that's run by, a king or whatever ruler who, is holding the population down, but also spoiling his own son. So, for instance, like if kids have toys or they see kids playing with something, they will confiscate it, and the leader or the mayor, whatever he is of the town, the king, will give those toys to his own son. So this character comes from the surrounding woods, Klaus, and he noticed these things and sees that this town is a joyless town, and he wants to bring joy to it. So one night as you can see, he's doing it here, he found these plants that if he makes a boil of them, he gets like this psychedelic sort of effect. And the first time he did it, and he was basically tripping on it, he woke up the next morning and there were like a million toys surrounding him. It's like he ate shrooms, and it inspired him to make toys for the kids. So, and he's like, then he goes into the town and he delivers them, but also has to deal with the guards and everything. So I guess this deals with Grant Morrison's take on the Christmas tree, how it came to be. Now, I much prefer this version of Santa Claus to the other one. I have a feeling this book, or the number 1 of this book, is going to be worth something. The first printing. I just have a hunch. Sometimes you can tell when you see how quickly it comes, or how quickly they sell out in the stores. Klaus number 1, I bought on a Wednesday, which is the day new books come out, and by Thursday no store had a copy, so that's why I think it's going to be worth a lot, or at least worth something. Next, Spidey. Now Spidey is kind of a retro take on the Spider-Man character. I think it's because the actual Amazing Spider-Man story, I think it's because the Amazing Spider-Man story that's being told in comics now is very involved. He's kind of like the new Tony Stark, like business mogul and all that, going around the world. So this book is just like, I guess, for Spider-Man fans. Your classic Peter Parker in high school, dealing with high school things, and fighting bad guys on the side, and being a photographer. I'm actually liking this book more than the Amazing Spider-Man story, which I actually stopped buying. It was okay, but it just didn't get me. It's kind of like old school art, not super old school, but feels a bit like almost like a Saturday morning cartoon, which I like. Nice splash page. So, you hear a lot of people saying this book, doesn't need to exist. It's not part of the continuity, and I think people who are saying that are missing the point. It's supposed to ignore continuity, and look at this, wait a second. So this is Spider-Man at the Central Park Zoo. And this is just a hunch right now, but looking at this guy who they're drawing. Oh, there you go. I'm right. Wow. Okay, so this guy looked to me a lot like the writer Dan Slott, who is writing The Amazing Spider-Man. I don't know how I just picked that up. I'm proud of myself, but look. It says here, if you can see, I don't know if you can. His name tag says, "My name is Dan." So it's a little, paying a bit of a tribute to the longtime Spider-Man writer Dan Slott. Alright, good catch, me. So Spidey number 3. Would I recommend this book? Yes, but only to big fans of old school Spider-Man. Nothing new is really being done or told, but if you want your old school Spidey fix, that's where to get it. Next, another one of my favorites lately, Sam Wilson, Captain America, written by Nick Spencer. This has been one of the better stories, also dealing with a lot of topical things, income inequality, the whole capitalism versus socialism debate, Wall Street, Creed, and all that. And on top of that, Captain America is a wolf, which I've talked about Cap Wolf before. Also, Sam Wilson, who was originally Falcon, had his sidekick was an actual Falcon that he could communicate with. But now, Falcon, by a villain, was morphed with a human, and he's kind of like a human Falcon hybrid. I forgot his name, but I don't know if he's gonna stay the new Falcon or what. Because I know Steve Rogers, Captain America, is coming back soon, but I'm hoping they also keep Sam Wilson around. There's an interesting dynamic between Sam Wilson and Steve Rogers now. And that is that Steve Rogers is kind of on the side of the left wing a bit, politically. And Steve Rogers is upset with him for divulging this information, saying that he should not pick sides. Because as Captain America, you don't want to alienate anyone on either side, but Sam Wilson thought it was the right thing to do. And you could either agree with that or totally disagree with it based on your political views. I will keep mine to myself. But feel free to share yours in the comments, as people love to do. Okay. Here we have Kennel Block Blues. I don't know much about this one, except I really liked the cover, especially the colors, and Boom Studios often puts out pretty interesting books, especially when they're the more weird books. So this just looks like a silly take on a prison for animals. I really like the artwork here. The use of colors. So it looks like this character is maybe delusional or crazy because this is how he sees the world. All colorful, singing and everything. But in real life, this is where he's going. To Jackson State Kennel. See, and all the other guys are tough and mean, and it looks like when he walks by, they're looking at him with ugly looks, but how he sees it is everyone's happy and like a silly cartoon. This looks like an interesting book. Again, not much I could say about it other than talk about the artwork. Great pages. Great contrast of colors. I love it. It looks like this character got shanked in jail. And this is how he perceives it. He's bleeding flowers and candy like a piñata. Interesting. Alright, so oh no. Or not oh no, but look at this. Quick shots of Boom Studios. Bill and Ted's Adventures continue with all the afterlife journeys you could ever ask for. Celebrate the 25th anniversary by bringing home the complete Bill and Ted's Most Triumphant Return collection from Minions screenwriter Brian Lynch and the brand new first issue of Bill and Ted Go to Hell. Oh, I'm looking forward to that now. Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey is one of my favorite movies. That's the one where they go to hell. Now, what is this? Bringing all forms of geekery together to dominate the multiverse. Jinx. What is this? I have no idea. Alright, so that was Kennel Block Blues. And in this, we learned about the new Bill and Ted Go to Hell, which I will definitely be showing you guys when I buy it. The first run of the Bill and Ted comic book that came out last year, I ended up buying all the variants. So on 5 issues of the story, I ended up spending almost $200. Yes, comic book collecting is expensive. I went to a comic book store yesterday and ended up dropping $150 on just old crappy 80s books like Sleepwalker and Quasar, Omega Man, old Hawkeyes and Moon Knights and stuff. Maybe I'll do a video showing you guys, although I don't know how much interest there'd be in those. You gotta see this cover of a Quasar issue I got where he's pregnant. Okay, so this is Amazing Forest number 2. I showed you guys number 1 last week. And I told you it looked to me like it was a compilation of different stories. And it was just that. And I'm assuming this one's going to be that also. Yeah. Healers. Kind of reminding me of the old alternative comics in the days, maybe the 70s, the days of Arcrum, and 60s and stuff. A little more politically incorrect, maybe, and edgy. This artwork even reminds me of Arcrum's a bit. If you don't know the name Arcrum, do a quick Google search. They did a movie with Paul Giamatti about one of his comics called American Splendor. That was the name of the comic in the movie, where Harvey Picar is the name of the character and also a real person. It was basically like this curmudgeonly old guy. And Arcrum loved the stories he told. And it was like the first comic that just was about a guy, like kind of a depressed guy, just going day to day. So that one was called American Splendor, and that movie was, although pretty dark and pretty great. Arcrum. Last book I'm going to show you guys is the Uncanny X-Men, written by Cullen Bunn. I've been kind of on the fence about this story. See, when I like a story but don't love it, I will get the digital copies rather than buying the books to read later. And this one is number 3, and I liked number 1. I kind of liked number 2, and this one didn't really do it for me. So I think this title is going to be for digital for me. So basically, the characters in the Uncanny X-Men are the bad guys: Magneto, Psylocke, Sabretooth, M, and Archangel. And they're trying to, the Terrigen mist that's sweeping through the Earth is hurting mutants. So Magneto and this group, the Uncanny X-Men, are trying to save or protect mutant healers. So some mutants have healing capabilities, and they're being hunted by a group, and they're not exactly sure why. So they're going around trying to protect those mutants that heal, because they see them as the hope of keeping mutants alive, which is Magneto's ultimate goal. He's tried to start a mutant utopia a couple of times that always ended up as a failed project, a lot of deaths. References to the Holocaust are made when it comes to Magneto, being that he was a Jew in a concentration camp. So very multi-layered character Magneto is. But this story hasn't done much to explore that, but it's okay. If you love the X-Men and want to just fully dive into the X-Men universe, it's a pretty good title. This, along with the Extraordinary X-Men, and then X-Men 92 is coming out. So that is it, guys, for today. Those are all the books I bought this week. Next video, I'm going to finish up the Old Man Logan storyline. So, looking forward to that. And I'll see you guys really soon.